Hey everyone, welcome to The Bold and the Beautiful. I'm Oma, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love Bold and Beautiful update, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in. You know, sometimes life throws you choices that tear you apart no matter what you decide. That's where I am right now. My little girl Beth keeps asking me why I can't just marry her dad again, why we can't be a family like we used to be. And the truth is, I don't even know how to answer her. Because deep down, I still love Liam. But then there's Carter, this amazing man who's done everything to make me feel safe, loved, and cherished. He just gave me the biggest gift of all. He fought to bring back my fashion line, and right after, he looked me in the eyes and said, "Let's get married today." And in that moment, my heart froze. Do I honor the man who's giving me everything right now, or do I listen to the pull of a past that refuses to let me go? Either way, someone I love is going to get hurt. And maybe, that someone is me. I never thought my life would feel like one long, never-ending tug of war, between my past and my future, between what I want and what everyone else seems to want for me. Sometimes I wonder if I even know what love is anymore, or if I'm just chasing the memory of it. When Carter walked into the room earlier today, his face practically glowing, I knew he had something big to share. He isn't the type of man to play coy or hold back. When Carter is proud, you see it in every smile line, in the way his eyes soften as if the whole world is finally aligned. For a moment, I envied him. Because for me, nothing feels aligned. Not lately, anyway. He didn't even let me sit down. "Hope," he said, grinning ear to ear, "I have the most incredible news." I laughed nervously, half expecting him to tell me something about a new client at Forrester, or maybe that he had planned a romantic dinner for the two of us. But no. What he actually said left me speechless. "I talked to Ridge, and he's reinstating your line. Hope for the future is back." Those words hit me like a wave, familiar, comforting, overwhelming all at once. I had fought so hard for my line, poured my soul into every design, every sketch, every fitting. And when it was taken away, I felt like a part of me had been ripped out. Losing it wasn't just about losing work. It was about losing my voice, my identity. I stared at him, blinking back tears. You did that? For me?" Carter just nodded, almost bashful, though his pride was written all over him. "There's nothing I wouldn't do for your happiness, Hope. Nothing." For a moment, my heart swelled. It's hard not to be moved when someone loves you like that, when someone fights for you without hesitation. But then he took it a step further. He pulled me into his arms, his voice thick with excitement. "Let's do it," he said. "Let's get married. Today." My stomach dropped. The words hung in the air between us like fragile glass, too delicate to touch, too sharp to ignore. Married. Today. I should have smiled. I should have kissed him and said yes without a second thought. Carter is kind, loyal, steady. He's never given me a reason to doubt him, never broken my trust, never left me questioning his commitment. But instead of joy, I felt this strange, suffocating panic. Because no matter how much I try to push it away, there's a part of me that still belongs to Liam. The second Carter said those words, "Let's get married today," my chest tightened like someone had strapped a belt around it and started pulling. I could hear my pulse in my ears, loud and insistent, like my body was warning me of something my mind wasn't ready to admit. Carter smiled so wide, like this was the happiest moment of his life, and all I could think was, why can't I match that joy? Why can't I just say yes? The truth is, every time I try to step forward with Carter, I feel this invisible rope tugging me backward. And at the other end of that rope is Liam. Always Liam. I hate myself for it sometimes. For still holding on to a man who broke my heart more times than I care to count. For allowing the shadow of our past to creep into the sunlight Carter tries so hard to give me. But no matter how I spin it, Liam and I share something Carter can never touch. Beth. When Carter pulled me close, whispering promises of forever in my ear, I could almost see Beth's face, hear her little giggle when she asked me just the other night, "Mommy, why don't you marry Daddy again?" It gutted me. Children don't understand adult messes. They don't see betrayal or mistakes or fear. They only see love. And in Beth's eyes, her parents should be together. Simple as that. I remember how Liam's eyes flickered when she said it. He tried to laugh it off, but I know him too well. That look, hope mixed with guilt, longing wrapped in hesitation, was the same look I've seen on his face 100 times before. The look that says he still loves me, even if he can't always say it. And I wonder, am I a fool for still loving him back? I can't count the nights I've lain awake replaying everything we went through, the nightmare of losing Beth, believing she was gone forever. That grief nearly killed me. It hollowed me out in a way I didn't think I'd ever recover from. And the only reason I made it through was because Liam was there. He was the one holding me when I collapsed on the floor sobbing. He was the one whispering that somehow, someway, we'd survive it. And we did. Together. How do you just erase that kind of bond? How do you walk away from the man who shared the worst pain of your life and still stood by you afterward? But then I remember the lies. The betrayals. The way Liam has wavered between me and Steffi so many times I've lost count. I swore to myself I wouldn't keep being the woman who waits for him to finally choose her once and for all. And that's where Carter comes in. Carter isn't Liam. He doesn't come with that chaos, that history, those scars that refuse to heal. With Carter, everything feels safe, calm, predictable. He's the man who looks at me like I'm the answer, not the question. But maybe that's the problem. Maybe I've been living so long in the storm that I don't know how to exist in calm waters. When Carter said, "Let's get married today," my mind should have gone to flowers and vows and forever. Instead, it went to Liam, sitting on the couch, staring at that photo of us and Beth like it's the only thing keeping him tethered to hope. And I don't know what scares me more. The idea of saying yes to Carter and silencing that part of me that still belongs to Liam. Or the idea of saying no and destroying the one man who's never done anything but love me completely. I felt tears sting my eyes, but I forced a smile, nodding as if I needed more time to take it all in. Carter kissed my forehead, oblivious to the storm raging inside me, and all I could think was, how did my life get so tangled? That night, after Carter left, I sat alone in my room. I turned off the lights, let the darkness wrap around me, and just let myself feel everything I'd been holding back. I thought about Beth, how she pushes for us to be a family again, how she doesn't even realize how heavy her little wishes weigh on me. I thought about Liam, the way he still calls me hope, with that softness that feels like a prayer. And I thought about Carter, who deserves a woman who looks at him with the same certainty he gives me. But what if I'll never be that woman? What if I'm destined to always live in the in-between, torn between the love I had and the love I could have? The next morning, I thought maybe the storm inside me had calmed. I put on a smile for Beth, made her favorite breakfast, pancakes shaped like hearts, and told myself I could tuck all the chaos away for now. She deserved a mom who was present, not drowning in indecision. But kids, they see more than we think. Beth sat across the table, her little fork stabbing at the pancake before she finally looked up at me with those big, curious eyes. "Mommy, did you say yes to Carter?" The question hit me like a punch to the gut. My fork slipped from my hand, clattering against the plate. I wanted to say something, anything, but all I could manage was a weak smile. "Sweetheart, that's something Mommy is still thinking about." Her brow furrowed in that way that reminds me so much of Liam. "But why? Don't you love him?" God, kids have a way of slicing through all the noise and going straight for the truth you don't want to face. I swallowed hard, forcing myself to answer. "I do love him, Beth. But love it's complicated sometimes." She tilted her head, studying me like she was trying to solve a puzzle. "Do you love Daddy more?" The silence after that question was deafening. My chest ached, my eyes burned, and I felt tears threatening to spill. I reached for her hand, holding it gently. "I will always love your daddy," I whispered. "Because he gave me you." Because we've been through so much together. But loving someone doesn't always mean you can be together. Beth didn't look satisfied with that answer. Her little lips pressed into a pout, and she said quietly, "I just want us to be a family again." And just like that, my heart cracked in two. Later that day, Ivy stopped by with jewelry for Beth's daddy-daughter dance. She looked radiant, as she always does, but the moment she saw my face, her smile faltered. "Rough morning?" she asked, her tone gentle. I laughed softly, but it sounded hollow even to me. Something like that. Beth, never one to hold back, jumped in before I could change the subject. "Aunt Ivy, do you think my daddy should marry my mommy again?" The room went still. My heart raced as I waited for Ivy's response. Her eyes widened, and for a second, I saw the conflict in her face. She glanced at me, then back at Beth, clearly torn. Before she could answer, Liam walked in, carrying Beth's dance shoes. He froze when he heard his daughter's question. "Beth," he said softly, setting the shoes down. "That's not something Aunt Ivy can answer." Beth turned to him, her little voice insistent. "But Daddy, don't you want to marry Mommy again?" I swear, the way Liam looked at me in that moment nearly stole the breath from my lungs. His eyes, blue, soft, full of something he was too afraid to say out loud, lingered on mine before he crouched down to Beth's level. "Sweetheart, Mommy is marrying Carter," he said carefully. "And we need to respect that." Beth's lip trembled. "But what if she wants to marry you instead?" The words hung in the air like a secret nobody wanted to touch. My throat tightened as I looked away, pretending to fuss with the jewelry Ivy had brought. I couldn't let Liam see how much those words had shaken me. After Beth went upstairs, the silence between Ivy, Liam, and me was heavy. Ivy was the first to break it. "She's not wrong," she said quietly, her gaze flicking between the two of us. "Hope if you still love him, don't you think you owe it to yourself, and to Beth, to be honest?" I froze. My hands trembled slightly as I set the jewelry back in its box. "Things aren't that simple," I whispered. "They never are." Liam cleared his throat, his voice low. "Ivy, maybe this isn't." But Ivy cut him off. "No. Liam. You know it too. You're still in love with her. And she's still in love with you. Pretending otherwise isn't fair to anyone. Not to Beth, not to Carter, not even to yourselves." Her words stung because they were true. And yet, instead of feeling relief, I felt panic. Because the more people pointed out what was obvious, the harder it became to keep denying it. That night, after everyone was gone, I found myself standing in front of the mirror, staring at my own reflection like maybe the answers would suddenly appear. All I saw was a woman torn in two. I picked up a photo from my dresser, one of Liam, Beth, and me at the park. Beth was sitting on Liam's shoulders, her arms spread wide, her laughter frozen in time. Liam's hand was resting on my back, our smiles so natural, so unguarded. We looked like a family. Because in that moment we were. I pressed the photo to my chest, tears slipping down my cheeks. I whispered into the empty room. "What am I supposed to do?"